Hey sisters, today I'm gonna talk to you.
Voice squeak.
My voice squeaked. Don't look at me. Stop. I can't.
I'm not looking at you.
Hey sisters, today I'm going to talk to you about Jamie, a fellow sister who lost 31 pounds with PCOS after using our Cysterhood app to follow the PCOS Weight Loss Method. Welcome to my channel. My name is Taline and I'm a registered dietitian. We created the Cysterhood app as a tool to help women like Jamie lose weight and manage PCOS symptoms. It really is a one-stop spot where you can learn how to lose weight with PCOS via a PCOS plan that has recipes, workouts, and even trackers. Most importantly, a supportive community is in there of like-minded women, including myself, who are going through the PCOS journey together. I'll link the app below. So let's dive into how Jamie lost 31 pounds with PCOS. She sent a sweet email and I'm going to break it down for you. She says, "My PCOS journey really started in 2019 when I stopped using birth control after 9 years because my husband and I wanted to try to have a baby. I had no idea that I had PCOS. I gained a lot of weight in college, but I attributed that to the freshman 15, although it was like the freshman 50 for me. So here I am waiting and waiting and waiting for my period to come. I thought maybe it was the effects of being on birth control for so long. And after about 6 months to a year later, right before the pandemic started, I visited my gyno because I hadn't had a period since stopping birth control. She asked me if anyone has ever talked to me about PCOS and I shook my head no. Now I'm sure you've experienced this before. A lot of sisters are diagnosed much later, which makes them suffer for so many years, especially through their 20s, when we take birth control and just mask our symptoms. And then by the time we want to have kids, we realize we have PCOS, and then the journey of healing PCOS begins instead of the journey of trying to get pregnant. Let's continue. She said, "The doctor said I had enough of the symptoms to be diagnosed with PCOS. She had me do an ultrasound and sent me on my way with metformin, Provera, and really no other information. I found Taline and Sirag on Instagram and started learning as much as I could on my own. Unfortunately, my toxic trait is learning a lot and doing nothing about it. We were also in the middle of the pandemic. It was hard times. I pretty much immediately quit taking the metformin because of all the tummy issues I was having. I'm a counselor, and although I was working from home at the time, it's not like I could run to the bathroom in the middle of an hour-long session all day long. I totally get it. Sometimes it's really overwhelming when you read a lot about PCOS and then you don't really know where to start. But the first step, in my opinion, is to start with breakfast. To start with a breakfast that's 35 grams of protein or more, and try to make it gluten and dairy free. That way you can see if gluten and dairy is contributing to inflammation and insulin resistance in your body. I always suggest that sisters try going gluten and dairy free for at least 30 days to see how they feel. Let's continue. Around 2021, since our goal was to have a baby, my gyno prescribed me Provera and Letrozole to try to make me ovulate, and after a few tries, she said she had to send me to a fertility clinic. I refused to go. I knew I could do this on my own, so I got serious about it. I started eating more vegetables and lean protein, working out. However, it was short-lived, and I was eating healthy maybe half the time, and the other half just shoveling sweets in my mouth because I loved them so much to the point where I would feel sick. In 2022, in order to talk my husband into going to the doctor about his sleep apnea, I agreed to also go and do a checkup. After my blood work came back, I was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. I was shocked. I had no idea that I could develop diabetes because I wasn't managing my PCOS. I wasn't really managing anything. I was still bloated, I was still plucking chin hairs, but now diabetes? That scared the bejeebus out of me, and I hit it hard again. Oftentimes when we're diagnosed with PCOS, doctors don't really explain to us some of the things that can happen if we don't try to manage PCOS naturally. So for example, if you have insulin resistance and it goes unmanaged for years and years, eventually it could turn into diabetes. And this is something that's really important to know early on so that you can make the diet and lifestyle changes, like eating more protein and discovering your carb tolerance, which is something you can learn through the Cysterhood app. Let's continue. Healthy food, exercising, checking blood sugar, I had no idea what I was doing, honestly. After more research on my own, I was able to get a continuous glucose monitor and really understand how my body reacts to food. This is a really important step if you are very insulin resistant or struggling with diabetes. You want to figure out what carbs are causing your blood sugar to go really high and shoot back down, and what carbs your body is able to slowly absorb so that you have stable blood sugar. I eat more protein now, a lot less carbs, and a lot more veggies as well. I've learned that balance is key, and consistently decent is better than striving for perfection for a short term. Amen to that. I've gotten my A1C down to 5.7. We did end up going to the fertility clinic, but unfortunately still have not gotten pregnant yet. But we haven't given up. Since 2019, I've lost 31 pounds, with at least 10 of those being just in the past year. I've come to realize that I didn't lose weight when I tried to lose it, but I did lose weight when I tried to heal my hormones. Oftentimes when we're trying to lose weight with PCOS, we end up working out more and eating less, and we kind of lose focus, or actually don't know that we should be focusing on healing our hormones so we can naturally lose weight with PCOS. For example, some foods may be causing inflammation, like gluten or dairy, and some lifestyle habits like eating less or eating too little carbs can actually trigger your stress hormones to rise and make you feel anxious and struggle with sleep and not being able to have energy throughout the day. There are some lifestyle changes that may work for some people, but not for women with PCOS, because the root issue is a hormonal imbalance. Let's continue. She says, everything is better now. I feel better. I'm less stressed. I've got more energy. I've got less anxiety. I've slimmed down. I still have some issues like few chin hairs, being bloated at times, and still having that stubborn fat around the midsection, but I've gotten significantly better and still have room to grow. I'm thankful to have learned all I have so far. Luckily, my diabetes was at a point where I didn't need medication and it could be reversed. My mother was diagnosed with uterine cancer in 2022 and had a complete hysterectomy. I'm convinced she has had PCOS too and didn't realize, and that's why she developed the cancer. Luckily, they caught it early and she's perfectly fine now. Another risk factor of having PCOS is when your symptoms include having irregular periods, you develop the risk of building up the tissue in your uterine lining, and that can potentially lead to cancer. Not for everyone, but it could potentially. So that's why it's really important to take your symptoms very seriously and try to heal them instead of covering them up or ignoring them for years. That's not to say it's your fault, because oftentimes when we're diagnosed with PCOS, we're given birth control as our only option, which just covers up our symptoms. And we're not given a lot of tools, so then we end up ignoring our symptoms for years and years. So if you're new to managing PCOS, I highly suggest you take the quiz in my bio to help you discover your PCOS type. Many women with PCOS, around 80% actually, struggle with insulin resistance as their root issue behind their PCOS symptoms. And that's what I had mentioned earlier that could lead to diabetes and lead to irregular periods and potentially other effects in the future. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope Jamie has inspired you to take charge of your PCOS journey and reverse your symptoms. We are always here to help. Give this video a like, comment, and share if you enjoyed it and if you want to see more videos like this. Thanks for watching.